Hi everyone, Bruno here, and welcome to my channel on This and That. In this video, we'll be talking about the United States. Why is the US still a dominant superpower? Is the US dependent on its currency status for its existence? Is it a possibility it will collapse? Does the US have any similarities to the once mighty British Empire? Well, let's take a look. In the past century, the US has transformed from a manufacturing savings nation to a credit-based consumer nation. As Neil Ferguson states in his book Colossus, The Rise and Fall of the American Empire, quote, "More than ever in history, the American economy is dependent on spending and credit, both public and in the private sector." Close quote. The manufacturing base in the US is very weak when considering the size of the country, its GDP per capita, and its status as a world superpower. The general rule is that there is no wealth in a nation that doesn't produce or manufacture products. So basically a nation that doesn't create anything. But the key reason why the US economy is so strong lies in its currency, the US dollar. The US dollar has a status as the world reserve currency. So that means that overseas nations need to use the US dollar to settle its transactions. What is required for the US to keep the status as the world reserve currency is a strong economy. It needs continuous consumer-based spending to keep its economy growing, which in turn allows it to meet its obligations for military expenditure, which in turn allows it to play World Cup. But what happens with the US as a nation and a union of states when the US dollar loses its status as the world reserve currency? Well then, it will all come tumbling down. If that happens, then all the overseas US dollars will be sent back to the US, which will then create hyperinflation, as there will be more US dollars in the US itself to go around. It itself will lose value, and people will want more of it when transacting. That in turn will increase the cost of products, and when hyperinflation kicks in, that will be the point of complete societal collapse, at which point it will mark the end of the US as a nation and a state. Now this could be in 10 years, 20 years, 50, 100, or even more, or even sooner. There are just too many factors in play to forecast the timeline. The disintegration of the US might seem dramatic, but just think about it. When a house is collapsing, then everyone looks to save themselves. The same goes for the US and its society. Multiculturalism has its strength during the good times, but when the bad times come, then arguably it is its main weakness. Given that currently the only thing that ties the US nation together is its currency, and its status as a world reserve currency, when that is gone, then so is its society. The only thing linking up, say, an American in Boston of Irish heritage with an African American in Chicago or a Cuban American in Miami is the US dollar and its value. Once that is gone, then it's every man for himself. Now some might say, well, the UK experienced a similar fate when it withdrew from its overseas colonies, and it still exists today. It appears to me that the UK elite played its cards smarter, as the British Empire has transformed from an old school type empire with overseas colonies to a primarily offshore haven for ultra high net worth individuals and global companies. This is based on secrecy and wealth preservation. Now, do the US have a similar transformation plan? Even if they do, is it too late for it to be saved? Although the US might seem indestructible, it has all the signs of a failing empire and nation. There is already much societal unrest, crime is rampant, school attacks are common, and the family values of what keeps a country strong are gone. Divorce rates are through the roof, abortion is widespread, single motherhood is the norm. Add to this the endless list of other issues, such as obesity, supply shortages, homelessness, etc. It's definitely a lost cause. Although still a superpower, tell me it's not the case that it's more likely that a small and strong country with a well-structured population, willing to work for the common good, with a healthy set of values working towards the advancement of society has a better chance of survival, rather than the US. Here's another way to put it. If you were to place a bet, would you rather bet on, say, Norway existing in 50 years' time, or the US? Let me know your comments below. Thanks for listening, all the best, and talk soon.